Welcome into the Thunder Basketball Universe presented by Summer Moon Coffee. We're recording today's episode on a very drizzly Thursday here in Oklahoma City. I'm going to say it. I'm going to be that homeowner. We needed this rain.
Did we really?
We needed this rain.
Was the grass looking a little parched
out
there?
It was looking a little dry, a little crispy, Gallo. I know you're feeling the same way. You always got your eyes on the lawn out there.
We've barely been home long enough for me to do anything besides come to the arena, go back home, come to the arena. I'm not even sure if I've seen my lawn in the light of day here so far.
That's fair because the Thunder, it has been just, we've been all over the place. The last time we podcasted, the Thunder had just wrapped up a couple games at home, and then they went out for 2 games on the road. A really kind of interesting road trip going out to Charlotte and then back to New Orleans. And then 1 game at home inside of Paycom Center against the Sacramento Kings. That was last night. And the all-consuming question, did you even unpack your suitcase?
No.
Me neither.
It's still sitting in my laundry room.
Same.
Yeah.
It is still sitting just completely disheveled on the floor in my bedroom. But when you have 2 games on the road, 1 game at home, mind you, we're about to leave again right after this podcast. In
about 2 hours.
In about 2 hours to go to Salt Lake City. So at this point, it's just the game inside of Paycom Center is another road game, essentially.
It's kind of an extension of that road swing, and it's been a pretty road-heavy schedule to begin this season. But that's great. Thunder's been banking some really good performances. They've been gutting out victories. Yeah. They've been doing what they've needed to do while being shorthanded. And these are the experiences that test your mettle.
That's right.
That's going to last you throughout the year. Again, this is a team that's having to rebuild everything from the ground up, and it's not taking anything that it did last year for granted, including that mental toughness and resolve.
100%. And the Thunder, they've won these games for credit to them, their ability to win in so many different situations. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. One of my favorite parts about it is that the Thunder's played 16 games this season. 3 of them have come against the Sacramento Kings. And it felt like we have played the Kings nonstop over the course of this season.
That's been plenty.
It has, yeah.
Now, to be fair, it's possible that the Thunder and the Kings are done with their season series
most likely
at this point. Depending on what happens with the NBA Cup, there's a small chance that the Thunder and the Kings could end up playing each other. That game would be out in Sacramento if that were to happen. But unlikely, or actually could be at home depending on what happens with the NBA Cup. Yeah. A lot of different scenarios, but still likely that's the last time, and pretty rare to be done with the season series after about 3.5 weeks of the season.
And the Thunder got the series sweep so far, 3-0 against the Sacramento Kings, and now have improved to 15-1 on the season, are riding a 7-game winning streak. And with those stats, that leads perfectly into our Summer Moon stat of the week. Nick Gallo, what you got for us?
99. It's what Paris Lawson's sliders are up to on NBA 2K announcer ratings.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I'm still looking for that 1 point there to get me over to 100. I thought this was the number of points that the Sacramento Kings had last night against the Thunder.
You're on the right track, but that's not specifically what I'm going for here.
Give me a hint.
That is 1 data point in a set of 7 data points.
Is it the number of times the Thunder has held their opponent under 100 points?
99 times.
Wait, no, I'm thinking 99 is under 100, so how many 99 games have... never mind. Scratch that.
You're right on it. It's the average points allowed by the Thunder over this 7-game winning streak. Yeah.
Awesome.
And so they hit it right on the nose last night with 99 allowed to the Kings. But
it feels like the Thunder has held their opponents under 199 times this season.
Yeah, and I mean, this is really where we're at with this Thunder team, that despite being shorthanded, despite spending much of this season without an all-defensive team player in Lu Dort, without another all-defensive team player in Jalen Williams, this team's defensive rating over the course of the season is about 6 points lower than number 2.
Yeah.
Which is another 6 points lower than the 20th or 22nd team in the NBA. So the Thunder is just absolutely far and away the best defensive team in the NBA so far this season. And particularly over this 7-game span, they've allowed just 99 points per game during this 7-game win streak. And it's, in the NBA, the modern NBA with the pace of play, it's hard to win a game if you're only scoring 99 points.
This is the crazy part about it, because the Thunder, their defense is incredible, which leads to these incredible point differentials that we've seen from them over the course of this season. I don't know it off the top of my head right now, but leading into the Kings game, the Thunder they were plus 15 in scoring which means they were just 15 points better every single game, which goes to show the Thunder's had some really great offensive games this season, but they've also had some kind of clunkier offensive nights like we saw against the Sacramento Kings, where the offense is just a little out of rhythm. They didn't shoot really well from behind the three-point line. The Kings, I think the Thunder shot 20% from the three-point line, and that was really pushing it. That was Lu Dort sinking 3 straight threes in the fourth quarter to kind of get him over the edge there. And so when you have these games where the ball's not going through the hoop, you have some uncharacteristic turnovers, the offensive rhythm is just kind of like, ho-hum, you can always rely on the Thunder defense to just like, look, if we're not scoring the basketball, guess what? You don't get to score the basketball either.
I'm taking the ball home.
That's
actually.
right.
Yeah, it makes you recession proof.
Exactly.
And so on the nights where things are really humming, which we've seen, I mean, I think about that first game against New Orleans at OKC. Every shot went in and the ball was just zipping around and everything was looking great on offense. Well, that ends up being, a 30-plus point victory.
That's right.
And then even on a night like last night where the offense did not, really have its fastball, you still end up winning by 14. And it's because the defense just carried you, particularly the transition defense I thought was really great last night.
And that's a good point because a lot of this game was played out in the open floor, it felt like. And this is a Kings team that was trying to slow down the Thunder. They threw a zone out there, which I think led to a lot of kind of the out of rhythm looks we saw offensively from Oklahoma City. But credit to the Thunder, their ability to get steals, get out into the open floor. We saw a good hands moment from Alex Caruso that got a thumbs down.
You got big thumbs down.
Big thumbs down.
For a layup. He didn't even try to dunk it.
Here's my credit to Alex Caruso. Finish the play. You put 2 points on the board. Finish the play. And he was like, I'm going to guarantee 2 points right now. We're going to get a layup.
The Thunder bench is they want their highlight dunks. They're like the Roman Coliseum. They want, they want to see what they want to see. And right now they're doing thumbs down.
We've been seeing a lot of thumbs
the gladiator
down.
Commodus.
Just like,
But it's all in good nature.
But
and
you
I think
had a good hit about this on the broadcast. Tell the people who might not have seen it.
It's kind of just a running joke now. I mean, everyone's getting thumbs downs except for Cason Wallace, because when Cason Wallace dunks, the whole arena feels it, and it's impossible to give that man a thumbs down for anything he does out in the open floor. But there have been some funny ones where guys have kind of gone up and just done what they needed to do to get the ball over the rim in transition, and that's earned him a double thumbs down.
Here's my question. We just gone on a complete tangent here, but I'm sticking with it. Does it only apply to fast break dunks?
Yes.
Okay, because Chet Holmgren had the dunk of the week against the Kings, where he just went straight down the middle over Drew Eubanks, just threw it down, and I saw no thumbs up from the Thunder sideline.
I think that when they're in the half court, the players and the guys on the bench, they're just so locked in on the execution and what's happening, and there's no expectation that highlight dunks are happening.
That's a good point.
When you've got a 1-on-0 fast break, it's like,
all right, you've had time to think about it over these last 3 seconds out in the open floor. What are you going to do? And you have no defense. That's fair. I would just like to see some thumbs up for great dunks that we see in the half court.
I love a wholesome moment. I'd be right there with you, Paris. But these guys, they have their own intrinsic motivation, and that comes from within them. So we're going to let them be how they want to be.
We're going to let them do what they do, and I look forward to seeing more thumbs up over the course of this season. Okay, here's my stat of the week. 4.
The number of threes that Lu Dort hit in the second half last night.
He did have 4 threes. He hit his last 4 threes of the game, right?
That's right. Yes.
It was 4 for 4, bleeding into the third quarter, but 3 for 3 in the fourth, 1 in the fourth, in the third. But no.
Dang it. I knew you were about to tell me no, even though you were so positive.
I know.
And so
I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Also, here's a massive hint. This is right, parallel with your stat.
The number of times during this winning streak that the Thunder has held a team under 100 points?
This season.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's it. Which makes me sound even goofier that I guessed. That was
Look, we're all a little delirious around here, okay?
It just goes to show how disjointed my brain is right now. But yes, the Thunder has held their opponent to under 100 points 4 times this season. And I believe 3 of those have been over the last 3 games, right? The Hornets, the Pelicans, and the Kings.
Right.
Actually, that's not right. The Pelicans had 109.
Okay.
It felt like we were on track. The Thunder had 49 points in the first quarter of that game, which is the most points in a quarter in Thunder history. insane.
Wild. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Pelicans started to get going in the second quarter. I really thought we were on track for just a historic night there inside of Smoothie King Center. But no, this is right on par with what you were talking about. And this goes to show just how connected we are mentally. The Thunder's defense, absolutely astounding. And it's just, I keep going back to the possession battle that the Thunder is winning, not just in, it's limiting second chance opportunities. It's taking shots away from opponents and just getting more shots on the board on the other end.
All the marginal things, all the things that just, coalesce into the easiest baskets for opposing teams. That's what the Thunder is great at defensively. Let me just read this off to you. They're top 5 in opponent points off turnovers, top 5 in opponent second chance points, top 5 in opponent fast break points, and most importantly, top 5 in opponent points in the paint.
Wow.
Now, those first three things, the points off turnovers, the fast break points, the second chance points, those all usually feed into points in the paint.
Right.
And so, this is a team that's allowing fewer than 40 points in the paint per game.
Yep.
It's really hard to win that way. Really, really hard to win if you're not generating that many points in the paint. You're going to have to live off of three-pointers going down for you. And most nights, they're not going to go down at a high enough clip.
I think a great example of this is the Thunder stats against the Kings last night. Across the board, the stats were fairly even in terms of the shooting numbers, the percentages. I'm pulling it up right now. You had, both teams shooting roughly 45, 46% from the field. Neither team shot well from the 3-point line, under 30% for both teams. And the free throws, both teams had 23 attempts from the free throw line. So if you're just looking at the box score, you're like, wow, how did the Kings not get 100 points on the board? Then you go down to the block shot stat. And you see this massive differential. The Thunder had 10 blocks in this game. That ties a season high. The Kings had 0. So that means the Thunder swatted away, saying, no, not on our rim. 10 shot attempts, just completely eliminated. And the best part about it, 7 different players had a block. My favorite one. We have to shout out our guy, Isaiah Joe, who gets so much credit for being a sharpshooter, 3-point shooter extraordinaire, taking charges even. No, this man skied up for a block, and he came out of nowhere and blocked it with his left hand.
Well, the 3 or 4 shortest rotation players for the Thunder all had blocks last night. Isaiah Joe, Lu Dort, Kaysen Wallace, Alex Caruso. So all 4 of those guys who are, 6'5" and under, all had a block shot last night. And it just... Mark Daigneault has said this so many times. We have the Thunder has players whose defensive floor brings up the entire team's defensive floor.
Yep.
Some of those guys that I just mentioned, they don't have the all defensive team prowess the way that Lu Dort and J-Dub and Alex Caruso and hopefully Kaysen Wallace is earning that reputation for himself. But there are guys on this team who help kind of backfill and with the depth that they provide. They give you so much on the defensive end that there's really no letdown.
And a great example of this is a guy like AJ Mitchell and Aaron Wiggins when he's been out there on the court. Those guys have also been incredibly disruptive as well, picking up steals, deflections even, just causing disruption out there on the floor. So you have that on the perimeter. We've only mentioned perimeter guys so far.
Yeah.
Because then if you're lucky and you get past Lu Dort, and you get past Alex Caruso and you sneak past AJ Mitchell, oh no, you've got 2 7-footers down there who are just batting away shots like it's their job.
Yeah, that just sounded like the scene in Ocean's 11. It's like, now once you get past the guards, once you get down the vault.
Once you pick this lock and then you get down this vault, and you get past the laser show down,
We're going to just walk out of the casino. And so, you're going to just make a layup against Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein?
No.
That's
so cute. That's so sweet of you. I think that's going to happen.
It's just in 5 blocks last night combined between the 2 of them.
Exactly. And it was an absolute block party inside of Paycom Center, which goes to show, again, 10 blocks, that's essentially just 10 shots completely eliminated for the Kings that the Thunder, and even if the Kings were able to get their rebound and put it, it's just more difficult on that end to try to get another shot on the board. So kudos to Oklahoma City, and it goes to show we had basically the same stat. We had to talk about this.
One brain.
So this is a big deal. All right, we've talked about Chet. Let's keep that rolling for him because he has been extraordinary over these last few games here. Over the last 3 games in particular, he's averaging 24 points per game. But it's not even the scoring. It's the efficiency of his scoring that's really jumped off the page for me. 61% from the field, 40% from the three-point line.
And our guy, Chris Josephson, hit us with just this impeccable
We
stat.
need like a CJ button.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just a big flashing light right up here. Only 2 players in the NBA are averaging 55% or better from the field, 35% or better from the three-point line, 85% or better from the free throw line. And it's Chet Holmgren and a guy you might have heard of by the name of Nikola Jokic.
Wow.
So good company to keep. And as you look at Chet as a modern big man who can play the 4, like he's done a lot this season, or play the 5, which he did some last night as well, his ability to be efficient at those spots and to be a guy that's threatening that hollowed 50, 40, 90 club is really special.
He's also doing all of this just within the flow of the offense.
Yeah.
Coach Dagnall gave him a lot of credit for this before the Sacramento game. He said, like, he's putting up some big numbers. He's shooting the ball with incredible efficiency. But the most impressive part about this is he's playing a little bit of a new role than he's played over the course of his NBA career. He hasn't played a ton of 4 over the course of his career. Just personnel, for Oklahoma City. He's typically played the 5. And he found a really nice rhythm at the 5 of integrating into the system, finding his spots, and taking what the defense gives him. At the 4, it's a little bit different, right? Because you're navigating different things. You have a 5 out there on the floor. The playmaking's different. The skill is different. And yet, still, Chet has been able to find a really nice rhythm so that all of these looks that he's getting are just simply within the flow of the offense. It never looks like he's forcing anything out there.
And Mark doesn't have to manufacture something for him. This is also another huge part of Chet is like he's an agendaless player. He does not have an agenda when he comes into the game of like, I've got to get X number of shots. I've got to get touches here, there, and everywhere. So Mark Dagnall doesn't feel any pressure to like draw something up for Chet.
Right.
If he's drawing something up where Chet is the recipient, it's because that's the best play that's available based on how the coverage is being laid out by the opposing team.
Exactly. And so really big kudos to Chet because it's not only the offensive end of the floor, as we've already discussed at length, it's the defensive end as well. 3 blocks against the Kings last night. Just very, very impressive stuff. Also, if we're going to talk about defense from the bigs, can we talk about Isaiah Hartenstein?
Absolutely.
Joining the Good Hands Club, it feels like. He had 4 steals against the New Orleans Pelicans the other night.
He's been one of the best steals guys in the NBA, just point blank. I mean, he's had an amazing start to the season when it comes to racking up steals. He's had 2 or more in 6 games already this season.
Which is so impressive.
Yeah, and so when you're getting that level of connected basketball and disruption from the big man, a lot of Isaiah Hartenstein's job as a big man in pick and roll, calling out the coverages, showing, hard shows or dropping back and making sure that, he's protecting the rim. But for him to be able to get his hands on the ball and get deflections and that kind of stuff too, well, with all the ball hawks that are surrounding him with Cason Wallace and Alex Caruso and
Lu Dort
and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I mean, Shai is perennially one of the best loose ball players in the entire NBA. When you're getting deflections and steals like that, the Thunder's going to be off to the races.
Speaking of ball hawks, let's also talk about Lu Dort because he has had a fantastic run here over the last 3 games. And I want to give him his flowers because he missed 5 games with injury. He came back. It was against the Charlotte Hornets, correct?
No. Yes, against Charlotte. Yes.
Against Charlotte.
Yes.
He made his return to the lineup and only had 3 points in that game. But he was, to use Chet Holmgren's words, an absolute monster defensively. He was plus 23 in that game, then followed that up in New Orleans, and he was plus, I think, 27 in that game. But then he also, with the cherry on top, knocked down 4 threes in the first quarter of that game. Absolutely lit it up. And then you follow that up with this game last night against the Kings where he knocks down 4 threes in that game as well. I mean, Lu Dort, he's always going to be an impactful player. Period. But then you just get this nice little icing on top where he's knocking down these threes, and it is just so, so cool to see. Yeah,
he's plus 11, the best plus minus of any starter last night against the Kings. And I love this quote from Mark Dagnall. Lu did not start shooting the ball well last game against the Kings, but in the second half, he makes his final 4 threes of the game, as we mentioned, 3 huge ones in the fourth quarter. And Mark said, he's got a confidence that transcends the circumstance of the game. And I mean, How many times have we seen that movie where Lu might not have it going or the team might not have it going? But all you got to look at Game 5 against Denver last season, the wild shot that he hit in Game 7 of the NBA Finals out top, where he's just like, okay, I got to put this up. It's late clock.
Yep.
Nails it. These are the things that there's a bit of a glint in magic sparkle in his eye. That when you get Lu Dort in a competitive situation, it doesn't matter how anything's gone. He is like the quintessential 0-0 player.
100%. Yeah. He is totally in the present moment. Yeah. Whatever happened before, it's over, it's done, it's behind us. I can only control what happens in front of me right now. And Lu, supreme confidence. I think that's the quote that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander used in your walk-off when you asked about Lu. Yeah. He's just like the ultimate confidence, just transcendent confidence to just, I know I can make this shot. I'm going to shoot it with confidence and I'm going to knock it down. And that's been his MO over the course of his entire career. I mean, I even think back to Game 7 against the Houston Rockets in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. Where he knocked down all of those threes, had 30 points, and that was as a rookie, and that was as a former two-way guy who was, getting opportunities in these big moments. Just so much confidence from Lu Dort to knock down those shots.
The guy does not flinch. And
that's right.
You want a bunch of guys on your team that don't flinch. And unfortunately, the Thunder has that group of players, and he really is a catalyst to that. And look, he's one of the guys that helped build this thing from the ground up, starting way back in 2020 when everything sort of reset for this team. And, he's had such an amazing chance to kind of see it to fruition. I was talking to him before the game against the Kings, and, I just asked him about, hey, you guys have been so shorthanded here. And he hit me with a pretty classic, like, we just have that next man up mentality. And it just struck me in that moment. So I asked him as a follow-up, I was like, does it feel like a long time ago that you were the next man up? Right? Lu has been entrenched in the starting lineup since, I think, February of his rookie season.
That's right.
But the first few months before that, he really was
the literal next man up. Because the Thunder was dealing with a lot of injuries at that point in the season. They were down a lot of guards. That's why Lu got called up from the Oklahoma City Blue. And I'll never forget the play that I think just cemented him into the starting lineup. It was against the Minnesota Timberwolves. And someone lost the ball. I forget who it was. And it's about to roll out of bounds. And Lu just felt like he swan dived onto the floor, grabbed the ball, secured the possession, and the Thunder ended up with the ball. And I think from that point on, everyone recognized, all right, this guy needs to be in the rotation consistently.
And if you remember, that dive on the floor helped ensure the Thunder had an extra possession.
That's right.
It helped set up the heave from Steven Adams to Dennis Schroeder that ended up helping send the game into overtime and give the Thunder a chance to win that game. The reason that whole thing was on my mind to begin with, just that kind of next man up nature, was because we were playing the Thunder was playing the Kings, and one of the defining moments of Lu's start to his career was a pick six steal out top on De'Aaron Fox, takes it the other way, and he scores right at the buzzer to win the game. This was, during a time when the Thunder didn't have a great record.
Yeah.
But it was his mom's first time ever coming to Oklahoma City, ever getting a chance to see him play in the NBA in person.
Yeah.
And what an unbelievably special moment. So whenever the Thunder plays the Kings and I see Lu Dort out on the floor, I cannot help but think about that moment. And Lu, he just kind of gave me that look yesterday when I brought that up. He was kind of like, I can't believe that you remember that, and it's something that he said, I really try to compartmentalize, but it's so hard to not remember some of those things when you're, in the heat of competition.
Again, because he's always in the present moment. He always focuses on just like what's in front of him. He's such a visceral competitor, but then like he's had the most amazing journey and trajectory to get to this point. And it's because of his just focus that he got to where he's at. But man, how special is it to see how the growth that Lu Dort has had in his career, and even where he's at right now, where he's surrounded by all of these incredible players, and still he is the, leading defender, always just on the most difficult guy to guard every single night, taking on ball screens left and right, and just such an integral part of this team, still so incredibly impactful night in and night out.
Yeah, and Sam Presti, who, by the way, was named awarded with an entry into the Oklahoma Hall of Fame.
Congratulations.
So massive congratulations to Sam. And an amazing speech. So poignant, funny as well. So if you get a chance, be sure to watch that. And but Sam used to talk about catalyst moments when this Thunder build was happening, and Lu was definitely a catalyst player, and still remains a catalyst player. And we've seen more and more guys that are like that kind of follow his lead and follow his suit over the course of time. Yeah,
been great to watch him, and glad that he's back out there on the court after missing those 5 games with injury, putting up some really awesome numbers and being as impactful as ever. Okay. We need to transition a little bit here because we're going to get into what's brewing for Oklahoma City. But before we do that, we need to give you just a little bit of a quick refresher because you're about to watch a lot of NBA Cup games if you're a Thunder fan. The Thunder has only played one of its 4 group play games for the NBA Cup. So that means 3 of their next 4 games will be NBA Cup group play games, including the Thunder's game on Friday in Salt Lake City against the Utah Jazz. So the Thunder currently stands 2nd in West Group A. But the Minnesota Timberwolves are currently 1st. That's only because they've played 2 NBA Cup games. They're 2-0. The Thunder is 1-0 currently.
Yeah. So the Thunder, they won in impressive fashion out in Sacramento, took care of business. They've got this game up in Utah, so they'll be done with their road NBA Cup group play games.
Yep.
Then they play Portland at home. That's not a group play game in the NBA Cup, and part of a 3-game homestand they've got on Wednesday and Friday of next week. So surrounding Thanksgiving, they've got the Timberwolves and the Phoenix Suns, both at Paycom Center. So you're going to want to come down and see those games.
That's right.
They're going to be so exciting, and a great chance for the Thunder to try to punch its ticket to the knockout stage.
Yeah, and I'm really interested also to see the floor for we haven't seen the Thunder floor yet because they've been playing all these games on the road for the NBA Cup. So a lot to look forward to for Oklahoma City, and it'll be really nice once the Thunder returns from Salt Lake City to be home.
Yes.
Over Thanksgiving. That's fantastic. I think the Thunder earned that considering all the road games they played so far.
A week straight at home?
A week straight?
Yeah.
Over Thanksgiving. Yes, please. Absolutely. We will take that and run
10.
with it. Yes. No notes. Incredible. Incredible. So a lot to look forward to. And the Thunder taking on a Utah Jazz team for the first time this season that's actually shown a little bit of improvement here. Going to be a really interesting test for Oklahoma City on the road in this NBA Cup matchup.
Yeah, there have been some declarative statements out of Utah over the last 6 months or so about just kind of what their plan is, what their vision is. They're currently, we are way, way, way early, but they're right now sort of in a play-in position, and they've got a bunch of young guys that are, getting better, improving. Lauri Markkanen's been playing absolutely incredibly well. Definitely, that all-star caliber player that we saw from a couple years ago. And so, they kind of fit in line with some of these team that you think about, like Portland, right? Like a very similar type of team where they're young, they're up and coming, they've got some veterans, but they're now at sort of that next stage of development of okay, we've done the rebuild. Let's put the pedal down and let's see how far we can take this thing. Yeah. Going to be a massive challenge out there on the road. Definitely, considering the fact that Lauri Markkanen paired with Keontae George, they've got a really nice duo happening there. They connect on a lot of great passes out there. So going to be a nice, interesting test for Oklahoma City and their defense to limit the Utah Jazz on Friday. But that wraps up today's episode. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Thank you so much to our producer, Matt Bishop. And until next time, Thunder up and catch you later.